Fear. A very common emotion that we all face from time to time.
I don't fear nothing. I ain't scared of anything.
Hang up that computer call.
Everyone experiences fear. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I used to be scared of, well, the most random things ever. Now, what I'm scared of is real stuff like, maybe my friends don't like me anymore, maybe I'll never find love, and maybe I'll die alone. Oh, and the trumpets, of course. Back then, I had a lot of fears, ranging from all sorts of things. Some were just really dumb and laughable, while others had permanent impressions on me. And considering it's spooky season, I decided that it would have been pretty fun. Now, first off, we got the dark. Ooh, spooky. This was my biggest fear as a kid. I would be so scared of this black void. I could only be in the dark if I was with someone I knew. But this fear of the dark got so bad that I had to sleep with the light on for 10 years. I'm not kidding. It took me till middle school just for when I was like, you know what? I think I could sleep in the dark. And sleeping with the lights on is not good. Apparently, if you sleep with the lights on, your body thinks that you're awake and it doesn't do what it needs to do. Also, you're just really tired all the time, which is also kind of why I was just having such a hard time going to bed. My parents were trying to do anything to get me to go to sleep with the lights off, but my fear of the dark was just so big. So my dad decided to have a compromise. At 1 a.m., my lights would turn off automatic, which was nice on paper, but that put a ton of pressure on me to fall asleep. Right, I think I'd be doing fine, but the moment it was 11, I was in panic mode because I didn't really like the idea of being timed, especially to go to bed. Because the moment 1 a.m. hit, the darkness would just cover my room, and I think I would just see someone like, I don't know, Pennywise in my room. Pennywise had a chokehold on my fear for a long time. Mostly when I was 8. The first time I've heard of Pennywise was when I was at the theaters with my friend. We were going to go watch Spider-Man Homecoming. The movie was fire. But of course you had to sit through the advertisement. I think you know where I'm going with this. The trailer for it was genuinely just scarring for little Asa back then. I think it was probably the scariest thing ever. It didn't help that we had the whole killer clown phase back then, so didn't really help there. This dude was scary. His moves, his expressions, his forehead size, very scary stuff. And knowing that this dude's main power was off of fear, yeah, I didn't think that would have helped things. But now being a fully grown, mature, independent 15-year-old, yeah, I would solo this dude. But I could imagine this dude combining all of my childhood fears on me, and yeah, it's over. I think I would have been 12 feet under instead. Especially if they had needles involved. Needles, especially shots, were just the worst thing ever. I always dreaded this. Like, me and my brother would just be chilling, and then my mom would say, alright, flu shots will be from Friday. I'd be counting down the days to the shot like I was on death row, except I actually knew when it was going to happen. I would complain all the time and just try to make up any excuse to get out of getting shot. And then when we were right at the doctor's door, I was just saying anything. I would have given her anything. Money, fame, riches, infinite power, her own galaxy. But alas, it didn't matter. I still had to take my vaccine. I thought this was like getting stabbed back then. It was absolutely terrible. I was just crying. I was just being annoyed. I was like, where? It was, oh man, I can only imagine what it was like for the adults in the room. If any of them are watching, I deeply, deeply apologize for just how much of a brat I was. I mean, I just thought that this was the greatest pain in the universe when I was 4, okay? But no, I would learn much, much later that it was just the tip of the iceberg. I think it was just the idea of having the needle in your arm. That was really the worst thing. My dad always said, alright, look away when you're getting the shot, and then I would just not do that. I think it was when I was at least 9 or 10 when I actually decided to, like, not cry, and it was genuinely not that bad. My brother is always making fun of me now for it every single time I have to get a shot, and he's like, oh, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna, like, dude. That was years ago, okay? Let that go. But you know what? The needles kind of just reminded me of something. And I don't know, this is a terrible transition. It reminded me of the other mother from Coraline. In my last video, I talked about things I couldn't watch. Now, Coraline was one of those things, but the reason why I didn't include it is because it was till after I saw the movie. I watched the whole thing from beginning to end. And this thing was probably the scariest thing I've seen. I know I'm gonna be saying that a lot, but I mean, come on. The bar isn't really that high, okay? I watched this movie in Guatemala. And while everything was in Spanish, I understood everything that was happening. Wouldn't you just be bilingual then? Hey, shut up. This movie was just very off-putting for me. And just very scary, especially by the end with that fight with the other mother. I think this really just made me dislike bugs, because every single bug in this movie was just so creepy. How was this made for kids? How did people think this was okay? But like I said, it really made me have a big distaste for bugs, especially since I was in Guatemala. We were also seeing a lot of cockroaches, and this movie did not help. Oh yeah, cockroaches. These things, these little things are so... I'm sorry. These things are so disgusting. I still avoid them to this day. Even though I could easily kill them, it's just better for me to avoid it and just tell my parents that it was there. And they take care of it. My mom's always like, you're old enough to do it. Why aren't you just gonna kill it? I'm sorry. I just don't want to kill it. It's so gross. These things give me the creeps. And they really gave me the creeps back then too. The way that they move, the way that they look. And don't even get me started if they hiss, bro. It was over for me. And even if you did kill it, there's a good chance that they aren't dead. Which, when I figured that out for the first time, I think I was just gonna lose it. And they were everywhere. If you found one, there's a good chance that there's a lot more nearby. You know, this wasn't in my childhood, but this reminded me of a time last year where me and my dad were gonna go to one of the hardware stores to go pick up something. So I went to go get my shoes. Left shoe on the ground, slide my foot in. It was fine. Right shoe on the ground, slide my foot in. There's something blocking my foot. I was confused, so I shook the shoe. Maybe it was something wrong with the sole. Maybe I kicked it, or a dead cockroach fell out. I don't even know how it got in there. I don't even know why it was in there. I mean, maybe it was looking for crumbs or something and just like died. Man, I was disgusted. I always check my shoes now, just in case there's a little surprise waiting for me. I could only imagine what it would have been like when I was younger. I mean, I had cockroach jump scares back then too. When I was 4 in Guatemala, I was taking a shower, just chilling, and then this cockroach just slid down the drain. I don't even know where it came from. It just spawned from behind me. I was just done. I called for my mom, and well, the cockroach was gone by then. I mean, if I found a cockroach, I'd burn the house down, go to a different continent, then from that continent go up to the moon, and I'd still find them. There'd just be no escape. Wait, just like time. Wait, that sounded a bit existential. Wait. Time limits. Man, time limits were just something else as a kid. I hate time limits, but back then it was just really bad. Especially in video games. The first time I've ever experienced a time limit was in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which was my very first video game ever. Gosh, I am so old. Anyways, I loved this game, okay? This was my favorite game back. But when that 1 minute timer came on, you already knew I was pissing myself. The idea of being timed for something or else I died terrified me as a kid. And the music didn't help. The fact that the tempo increased and everything was just faster. Oh man, that just made my skin crawl. I mean, I don't think it could get any worse from Mario, right?
Oh my goodness!
Sonic 2's water section is genuinely the worst thing ever. I want to know who at Sega thought this was a good idea. Hey, do you want to know what we should do for next game? You know, the one that kids are going to be playing? Oh, I know. Let's give them PTSD. I think it was just the music that really just sucked, because it was just so creepy. I don't really know what was up with video game time limit music, because it's just so creepy. And then there's some things that are just like, you only have this amount of time to do it, and there's no screw ups. If you fail once, then you fail all of it. Like, dang, bro. I'm like 8, okay? What do you expect me to do? Although, it wasn't meant to be creepy. It was just meant to make you like, hey, you might want to hurry up there, pal. Although something that was meant to be creepy was FNAF. I think every kid was scared of FNAF, okay? I don't think there's no denying that. I was mostly scared of Wither Freddy, okay? The normal Freddy was scary, don't get me wrong, but this one just gave me the heebie-jeebies. Also, it's my favorite to draw. I don't know. I mean, I don't draw them a lot, but this one's easy for me to draw. And this was the one that I was scared of the most. Then Nightmare Animatronics said, hold my beer. These dudes had me playing FNAF 4 in real life, trying to make a fictional bear would not come into my room. Didn't help with that stupid light timer. I mean, to be fair, I did kind of do this to myself by, you know, watching FNAF when I wasn't supposed to. But I mean, I would be watching people play this game. I was so scared of it, but at the same time, I just couldn't look away. It was intriguing to me, I guess. And it was kind of like a hypnosis. You know, it was just kind of like a never-ending rabbit hole. As you can see, I was a very scared kid. I mean, a lot of the stuff was kind of dumb, but I mean, I don't know. I was just a kid. I don't really blame myself for it. I was just kind of slow. Thank you for watching. And with all that being said,
You be eating my booty when I be asleep.